Welcome to my second installment in the video playthrough of the first scenario of Kiev 41, which is called Preludes. Why am I showing you these German units? Well, these are the German units that were eliminated during the second Soviet impulse. And, well, basically that means that the Germans are going to be very hard-pressed to capture Kiev. To win this scenario, they need to capture either Kiev, Odessa, or Dnipropetrovsk. As I said, Kiev is basically out of the question after these losses that they've suffered. Two of them that I've just shown you are the strongest ones in the German setup, really. And once more, they probably even have to be careful not to lose Ternopil. They do still retain the initiative, so they can place one or two units there, but as you can see, the Russians are really pressing their lines. Guderian has been pretty successful, although that doesn't take much strategizing. I mean, you just need to roll well. And so if Guderian enters the yellow disc there, it means that the northern supply route over here is going to be cut. So if the Germans actually manage to cut off the Russian forces here, all the troops in the north will be unsupplied, which is basically what happened historically. But the problem is the Axis have very few mobile units left. Because of the two that they've just lost, obviously, which are their strongest ones. And they do have a Hungarian tank unit here, which might actually be able to cut this off. But yeah, and the other two infantry, they could actually hold some of these. But I think the Russians should be able to restore supply before their next impulse. But it might force them at the very least to activate their headquarters once more. But that's probably not going to be a very good decision for the Axis to take, because those units are probably going to be cut off against overwhelming Russian superiority over there in the north. Now, in the south, which would be their second option, we have Odessa. Well, the Soviet fleet has been deployed there, and this defensive line is a victory city. There are two units in there. Which are basically at full strength too. I hope you can see that. And the northern approaches to the city have been, well, blocked as well. So that will be difficult for the Axis to push through as well. They do have Romanian headquarters here, which was moved here. It didn't activate on the previous Axis impulse. And a strong Luftwaffe headquarters. But as you can see, it doesn't look like Odessa is going to be an easy capture either. Now the third option, although that's literally probably hundreds of miles away, is the Dnipropetrovsk. Well, these units, one of them at least, was moved here from the southeast. First turn headquarters started here, and the mobile tank unit here was first moved to Rostov, or at least in the vicinity of Rostov, and then consequently was moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to Dnipropetrovsk. So, well, because of the distance to it and the fact that it's also stacked to the maximum now, even that is going to be very difficult. But, it should be extremely difficult for them, taking into account the losses that they've suffered. So this is the summary of the second impulse of the first turn